Hello and welcome to day 3 of the 12 days of Christmas junk journal ideas. And today we're going to use shrink paper or shrink plastic to make some little dangles and charms. So here are a few of the ones I've already made. I have this one that you could clip to the spine of a journal, or it could dangle off the side of a journal, or it could even become a clasp. And then we have this Santa and some beads. I have a sweater. And then this one, I added a Tim Holtz metal number to a little piece with berries on it. And I have a reindeer. Really cute. And then this one, I added a clip to it. So again, you could clip this to a journal. And then I have paper clip with a Santa. And then this one is a ball pin with some beads. Okay, so let's get into how to make these. So set those aside. And I will link this or something similar to it down below in the description. My sister-in-law a few summers ago brought this with her when they came to visit. And her kids and my kids made little shrink plastic pieces. I think we turned them into keychains. And she left this box, and it's been sitting in my little kid craft cabinet downstairs. Well, now my kids are older and they don't really go into the craft cabinet so much, so I cleaned it out. And I was like, oh my gosh, I had totally forgotten about this kit. And in this kit, I just want to show you that it has pieces if you want to make different jewelry, earrings, chains, all different things. Comes with a hole punch, things to hold your bits and pieces from here, coloring pencils, and the shrink plastic, and directions. Now, it gives you directions for how to do it in the oven. I'm just going to be quick and use my heat tool. But if you do this and you use your heat tool, you probably want to have a glass mat, like a heat-resistant surface or silicone mat on your table. And you're also going to want some sort of grabby tool like this. All right, so I have these pieces, and then let me show you how we're actually going to make the little shrink plastic pieces. I'll be right back. Before we do that, here's a sneak peek of tomorrow's project for day 4 of the 12 days of Christmas junk journal ideas. Okay, the way I'm going to do it this time is with stamps. You can just draw on the shrink plastic if you're, a really good artist or a decent artist. I am not. So I'm going to use stamps. And I pulled out a few. I also use these in the samples. I have the Sketch Greenery, the Darling Christmas, and Stamptembers from last year. All right, so let's start with the Santa. And I also have my archival ink in black. I would recommend the archival or something, a permanent ink for the main stamping. But you'll notice it still kind of smudges even when it's dry. I think because it's the plastic. But it'll work. All right, so there's two sides. There's the shiny side and then this dull side. The dull side is the side we want to stamp on. So you're going to need your stamp block and your stamp and your archival. And we're going to get this nice and inked up. If you have a Misty tool or a stamping tool, that might not be a bad idea. I'm just going to go for it though. And I'm going to try and fill, maybe not all of this time, but I'm going to try and keep it so that I don't have a lot of waste. Stamp. And that looks really good. Nice job on the first try. And then, how about we do the Christmas tree? Now keep in mind the size of it when you start, of course it's going to shrink and it's going to get quite a bit smaller. So this tree is actually, is it? Am I lying to you? Yeah, it's this one. So see how much it shrunk? So keep that in mind. If you want something that's about this size, you're going to need a bigger stamp. So this tree, here it is. So this tree will shrink down to this size, just to kind of give you a visual on how much it'll shrink. Into this one. That's pretty good. How about, well, let's grab greenery. I think the greenery is my favorite. I'm gonna grab this one. Can I fit it? Yeah, looks good. All right, so we'll start with those, just to kind of show you. All right, so to color these, in the kit, it comes with colored pencils. So if you have colored pencils on hand, perfect. I didn't try it with watercolor pencils like the Tim Holtz ones. I would think it would work, but like I said, I didn't try it. I did try it with these, and I'm sure any other color pencil should be the same. Or you can do, if you have alcohol markers, I also tried it with alcohol markers. And I honestly, let me see. This was one with a pencil. So there's a pencil, and trying to find one I colored. This one, I don't know if you can see with my stampy fingers, but this one I did with alcohol marker, and this one's pencil. Let's see. So I really don't think you can tell the difference. So I think either one will work just fine. So then what you do, you just color. I'm hoping that this is dry. Let's see. There's Santa. Since I have green, I'm just gonna do the same on this one. Give a little green. This one, because there's so much stamping, you really don't see much. And then for this one, I'm gonna do the alcohol ink, and I have some different colors. And this, I'll show you, I just kind of go like this to add the color, because it will pick up the ink. And the nice thing is, you really don't have to be too perfect. Because when it's really small, you won't really know. I'm going to get a different red for some of those other berries. That's a little too much. Let's do. It's green leaves. Okay, so then once you've done your coloring, you want to make sure it's dry. If we use the alcohol, so I'm just gonna do that for a second, and then you can cut it out. Now, if you have dies that coordinate with these stamps, you can actually die cut these out. For the video, I'm just gonna cut them. I think one of these does have dies, but I'm just gonna cut it out. So let me see if I can show you. You can go around the edge if you want to leave a little bit like this, and it will just look white. So that's up to you, or you can try and get as close as you can. But I think either way looks pretty cute. But just so you know, when you leave a little bit around the edge, it looks white, so that's kind of a nice border effect. And if it's a pretty intricate piece that you need to cut out, that border might save you some frustration with cutting. What's fun is you can make these, or you and your kids or grandkids. I just think it adds a fun extra element to memory keeping with your December daily, especially if this was like a group project, kind of like what we did a couple years ago with the Shrink Plastic. Okay, so then there's that one, and I'm gonna cut these out. There we go. Okay. And then the most important part, if you're wanting to make it a dangle or a charm, is you need to remember to poke your hole before you shrink it. So a hole punch, a crocodile, either one will work. So I'm just going to punch a hole at the top like that. And then this one I'm going to go down here because it needs, you want it, you know, so it still remains a hole. And then how about this one in Santa's bag? Like that. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up and we'll go to the next part. All right, now we are ready for the shrinking. I have my heat resistant mat. I have my little grabby tool. I'm going to use my acrylic block as a blocker. You'll see, because this guy is probably going to fly around. My heat tool. I've turned on my fan, opened my door so my room is ventilated. Again, you can do this in the oven, but I think this is really fun doing it this way. All right, so I'm going to grab with my grabber and turn this on, and it only takes a few seconds. All right, so you want to keep going until it flattens, like kind of uncurls a little bit, and then you can flatten it out. A lot of times it'll flatten out on its own. I think I let it go and it cooled off for a second. But then I just take this and I flatten it out. Give it a second to cool before you touch it. And your glass mat is going to be pretty warm too, so be careful. And there is our first little charm. How cute, right? So cute. And there's the other side where we colored. So this one was with the alcohol ink. All right, so now let's try the Santa. go. So that one flattened out a little bit better for you to see. And give it a second. And there's the side we colored, and here is the shiny side. And again, this one was with colored pencil. Blurry, there we go. Cute. All right, and then last one, Christmas tree. A little smush. And there we go. So this one, because again, oh, I'm trying to get it focused, because this one had a lot of stamp area. It's definitely more on the black side, but you can see a little bit where we colored. But yeah, so that it depends on if you want something where you see a lot of the color. Make sure it's a stamp that has more open space for coloring, more of a sketchy design. Or if you want it, you know, more solid like this. It kind of just depends on the stamp. All right, so now from here, you can get out your jewelry tools and your fun little bits. And if you want to wire wrap on chain or add to a bulb pin, just simple, kind of like we did with the day one numbers. So I'm going to add my Santa. And then I have this fun little Tim Holtz diamond bling. We'll add those together. And then look how cute. You have this little dangly. If you want to add it to a paper clip, you probably need a ring. So let me grab a ring, a little jump ring. And then add that to this guy. And now we have a little dangle on a paper clip. You can also add another charm, wire wrapped beads, just all sorts of options. And there we have two little danglies. How cute. If you do words, the dull side is going to show it, you know, the correct way. The shiny side will be backwards. One to another ball pin. And then we have a simple little dangle. Cute, right? And then you can take your journal and you can add these to tags. You can add them to the side of your journal. Just really cute. Paper clip so we could clip this on. And then that can dangle out the side of your journal. Cute. You can add it even to here. I mean, you could just go crazy and add them wherever. And then the one with, oh come on, it's stuck. A clip like this. If I wouldn't do it with the buttons, but you could do something like that and then have it dangle off the back of the journal. I would probably not have both, but you get the idea. Super cute. You could add them if you didn't have beads down here. They could be the dangles for down there. There's so many ideas. All right, so that is day 3 using the shrink plastic. I will have it linked below. The kit I used or something similar. And as always, to be entered in to win the journal at the end. Like, comment, and hopefully be subscribed. And I would be tickled if you could share this with someone who might not know about my channel. All right, let me know what you think of today's junk journal idea. And I will see you tomorrow for day 4. All right, have a wonderfully crafty day. Bye-bye.